Hello and welcome everyone. I am Red Jumpman, a car creator for Redbot, and today we are going to talk about CTX. And you might be wondering, what is CTX? I see it everywhere. It's in everyone's code, and I have no idea how to use it. Well, Discord Pi defines CTX as the invocation context that the argument is being used in. So, wait, what does that mean? Well, if we break down the statement, the invocation context can be, you can look at it as really any data that can be taken from the action used, such as a command, and the argument is where we are passing context. So, like when we pass it as an argument, CTX in a command. So now that we sort of have an idea of what CTX is and we've kind of defined it a little better, let's create an example because really that's the best way to learn. And so I have a example cog already set up here, and if you aren't really sure how to make your own little template, I highly encourage you to watch my COG 101 video and learn a little bit more on how to make your first COG. Now, context is not passed by default. It's set to false, so simply adding CTX here is not going to do anything. So we need to let this decorator know that we want to pass the context, and so we just simply type in this optional keyword argument, or this optional argument, true. So pass context equals true. That's going to let it know, hey, go ahead and grab that context because we're going to use it, and it's going to be stored here under CTX. Now, we kind of have everything kind of set up. It's pretty close to what we need. So let's talk about exactly how we use CTX. Do I just know that if I set a variable, let's say name, to ctx.message.author.name, so we'll go ahead and put this in here. Name equals ctx.message.author.name. Do I know that whenever I print this out or I send it through the bot, how do I already know that this is going to give me my name? It's going to say Red Jumpman because I'm the author of this command, right? I'm the one that's using it. But how did I figure out this part? Message.author.name. Well, it's not something that people just already know by looking at this. They've explored the directory of its attributes. Okay, so let me show you guys how to do that. We'll open up Discord here, and let me get on my test server. And here we go. So you can use something called dir, D-I-R, in order to explore the attributes of CTX, or really anything that's an object. You can explore like what all you can do with it. And dir is short for directory, and so you can think of CTX as this like huge storage box, and inside this box there's a bunch of smaller boxes, and if you keep opening up these boxes you'll eventually find some type of specific data related to the box that you opened. So if we demonstrate that by using dir on CTX, we're going to be using Navi, my bot, which is a version of Redbot. So we'll use debug, and debug is a command that is built into Red, so everybody should have this if they have a version of Redbot. And what it does is it lets you input some arbitrary commands, and so we'll just use dir and CTX, and let's see what we get. Okay, so we get this big list, right? And if you go ahead and just ignore all of these little private instances here, so ignore all of these two here. All right. And then we just look at this: args, bot, cog, command, invoke, invoke subcommand, invoked with, quargs, message, prefix, subcommand passed, and view. These are attributes that go exactly after CTX. Okay, and so you can see that message, all right, that we've been using here, right, is right here. So let's explore a little bit further. So we use debug dir ctx dot message, and we got an even bigger list. So if you go ahead and just hide these right to here, you'll see attachments, author, call, channel, channel mentions, clean content. You'll see a bunch of different stuff in here that you can add at the end of message. Well, we see author. Okay, so that kind of goes back to this, right? ctx.message.author. Okay, so let's check that out. And there we go. So now we can see that if you hide everything up to here for you guys, and then there you go. So here are the attributes that you can add at the end of ctx.message.author. So we'll see that name is there. Boom. So now that's how we know that we can get the name. Okay, that's how we're able to explore CTX in order to find the right attributes that we needed to get the information that we needed. Now, you're gonna have, there's a ton of stuff that you can do with CTX, and really the only way to figure out the stuff that you want to use is to just do this exploratory method by checking out dir. I mean, you can also look at other people's work, but I really recommend just doing it this way so that you have a little bit more hands-on experience with it, and you can just try it out. So if we use here, and using this debug command again, we can test it out. So we're going to use ctx.message.author.name, and it gives me my name, Red Jumpman, because I used this command, right? So we'll go back up here. We'll change this. We don't need to necessarily have name at the end of it, right? And then we'll say await self.bot.say name. And now anytime we use this command, xcom, it is going to say the name of the person who used the command. So pretty easy stuff, right? So what else can you do with CTX? Well, you can do lots of stuff with it. You can, if we, you can even get a list of all the imports that a cog uses. So if we do some exploring again, we'll say debug CTX. Let's explore the directory again. Let's try out command. So debug directory ctx.command. Okay, so here's something interesting. We have module. So if we do debug directory ctx.command.module, we can see all of the imports that the originator of this command, which is because debug is under owner.py, these are all the things that are imported in owner.py, right? There's data IO, async IO, box, check files, checks, commands. And we can even explore those if we really want to. So if we put this back in and we type in, let's take a look at data IO. And so you can see now that we're looking at data IO, and some of these are probably looking pretty familiar, right? Legacy file IO, read JSON, save JSON, is valid JSON. If you've done any work with saving JSON files or anything like that using the helper class in utils, then these functions probably look pretty familiar to you. But those are functions that are contained inside a library that was imported into owner.py that we got through context, which is pretty crazy, right? But there's a lot of stuff that you can do with CTX, and I hope that you guys have a better understanding of how you can use CTX to do different things. And so hopefully it clears up some of the confusion and demonstrates how you can explore its metadata based on invocation. So if you guys like this video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.